Sherlock Holmes, The Blue Diamond, Chapter 1. Dr. Watson went to Sherlock Holmes' house and found him with some newspaper, an old hat, and a magnifying glass in his hand. Sherlock told that he got that old hat from Patterson, the doorman at the Baker Street Hotel, who also gave him that goose. Then, Sherlock told Watson what happened. Patterson followed a tall man with a goose over his shoulder. For some reason, a young man hit the tall man's hat off his head, who counterattacked with his walking stick, but by accident broke the window of a shop behind him. When Patterson went to help him, he ran away. Patterson noticed that the man had left his goose in the street next to his hat, so he brought them to Holmes. He said there was a ticket on the goose's leg that said, "For Mr. and Miss Henry Baker," along with the letter HB, which stands for Henry Baker, owner of the hat. During the report, Sherlock told that he gave the goose back to Patterson. By examining the hat, Sherlock deduced that its owner is an intelligent man who was once rich but is now poor, whose wife loved him once but doesn't love him now, and that he's 30 or 40 years old. Suddenly, Patterson opened the door shouting that his wife had found something in the goose. It was a beautiful blue diamond.
Chapter 2. Holmes said that the diamond was the Countess of Morcar's blue diamond, a very expensive jewel that had disappeared a week ago. He also told that there was a newspaper report about the case. It was written in the report that the police thinks John Horner, the man who repaired the window, is the one who stole the diamond. He angrily denied that, but people didn't believe him, and now the case goes to the High Court next week. There is in fact a real crime in this case, but Holmes said that the diamond came from the goose, and the goose came from Henry Baker. So he decided to put an advertisement in the newspaper asking Mr. Baker to come to his house so he could get his things back. He also asked Patterson to buy a new goose for Mr. Henry.
Chapter 3. Holmes said that he was going to put the jewel in safe and then write a letter to the Countess of Morcar in order to warn her about the diamond. Then he says that he does not think that Henry Baker is the jewel thief because he also does not think Baker knew about the diamond hidden in the goose. Later on, Sherlock received Watson and Baker in his house for dinner. The detective discovered about the goose's original location, that is, where he was found at the Alpha, a pub near the British Museum, and also that its owner was Mr. Windigate.
Two detectives went to the so-called the Alpha in order to talk to Mr. Wingate, who might be relevant to the case, but they discovered that keys don't come originally from Wingate's pub, but from a little shop in Covent Garden, owned by a man named Breckinridge. Then Sherlock and Watson went to that little shop, but they saw where there were no keys in the shop. Holmes then asked where did Breckinridge got the keys from, and the shopkeeper got angry because a lot of people have been asking him those same questions. After some fast negotiation, Sherlock got to know that Mr. Oakshott had ordered the keys and they processed to her address.
Chapter 5. Behind the store, there was a weak little man who stood in front of Mr. Backringe, who was angry. Mr. Backringe didn't want to hear about the keys, but then the little man explained to him that one of the keys was his. Mr. Backringe closed his shop door angrily at the little man, who ran off down the dark street. Sherlock talked to the little man and said that he knew about the goose. They took a cab and went to Sherlock's house. Midway, they found out the real name of the little man was James Ryder.
In his home, they had a little talk and Sherlock showed James the blue diamond. Then he asked James to tell the real history about that diamond and how it got into the goose. James begged to Sherlock and Watson not to report him to the police. So James started to talk. He waited for the police to arrest Horner, so he went to her sister's house. There he noticed he couldn't walk around the streets with the diamond on his pocket. So he saw a big white goose with a black tail. So he took the diamond from his pocket and put it into the bird's mouth. He left the goose with Maudley, his friend, and went to her sister's house again. But when he came back, he discovered there was no diamond in the goose. So he noted that goose wasn't from him. And now he's here. But after all, Sherlock Holmes decided not to report James to the police, and he became very happy. And he explained to Watson that Christmas is a day to make people happy.